Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Black Logic. Sorry for the tardiness. I was trying to verify a story that just came across my desk in regards of President Trump revoking 240,000 Ukrainian visas. It became to be rhetoric. So that is not actual factual, but that was one of the latest news story that came across my desk that I needed to verify very quickly before I came live because I was going to report that. And I said, well, let me verify that. So nonetheless, currently that isn't true. He's not revoking 240,000 Ukrainians visa that are here in America. I just want to clear that up. So nonetheless, we're diving in into President Trump's recent strategic moves on the international trade front. And in a development, the president has granted a 1-month exemption from newly imposed 25% tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico. So again, they're going back and forth with these trade deals. Okay. And this is kind of helping a trade war soon to begin, unless somebody really take a knee when it comes to Donald Trump and some of the things that he wants out of these countries. That has been sucking America dry for quite some time. Now, I don't know if he's going to give the same grace period to China, where a lot of our products do come from, even some of our meats. Like we have a lot of things coming from China, not just like products, but we have agriculture and produce. We have a lot of things that China essentially supplies America with. And also when it comes to Canada, Canada is not just making our vehicles. Did you know that Canada also produces energy for us? Right, they sell us energy. So again, Canada was threatening a lot of retaliatory things that they were going to do if these imposed taxes were to occur. They said, well, we're going to stop supplying you guys with electricity. Now, do America generate enough electricity for all of our citizens? I believe that we do. I believe we always operate in access. Like we have Alaska, where they just have oil reserves that we haven't used in ever since they constructed it. And we look at energy, you never want to just have enough energy in case things go haywire or things go wrong. You want to have a good storage of energy. So again, I just think that we get a lot of things from countries we may necessarily not need, but we always want to be in abundance. Now, if somebody who knows about those things, please drop a comment in the chat so you can inform us. But that is my belief system, because the exemption that he allowed Canada and Mexico to have, it aligns with the United States of American agreement, the USMCA, and that just means the United States, Mexico, Canada agreement. And that is from Trump's first term, believe it or not, which exempts most goods produced in those countries from tariffs. So again, we're going to still have a lot of imports from Canada, a lot of imports from Mexico that will not be taxed. They will not have tariffs on them under that agreement. However, the administration has expressed frustration over what it perceives in a very adequate effort by Canada and Mexico to curb the spread of fentanyl in the United States. He's using these tariffs as leverage so these countries do right by America, by the United States of America, because they keep continuing to allow fentanyl cartel members, gang members, illegal immigrants from North and South. He said that we was having illegal immigrants to enter from Canada. That's some of the reports that we have had. So again, he's using these tariffs as leverage so these countries can do the right thing. Now, while this pause has provided some relief, it's important to note that the additional tariffs targeting other countries are planned for April the 2nd. Both Canada and Mexico could have responded retaliatory measures by then, or implemented some sort of plan, or indicating that the trade landscape remains very complex and fluid, because again, he's playing hardball. I wonder if this just is a strategy and that he will, like he stated before, deduct some of the percentages that he first stated it may come down to 15% or even 10%. And that, if you ever guys read The Art of the Deal or The Art of Negotiations, these are really good books for you guys to understand how he's going about negotiating. Even the leverage that he has in imposing tariffs, Donald Trump is just treating this as a big old business deal. That's what trade policies and trade regulations and trade legislation and trade contracts, that's all it is. It's this big business on a very large scale, because it's not from this business or these two businesses. No, it's from this country to this country. It's just big business, and that's what he's treating it as. So again, I'm keeping close eyes on this because there's just so much going on. Did you guys see this fool, Al Green? Some of these old black Democratic shields really need to step down. They really need to retire. They're not representing Democrats well. I'm not a Democrat, not a Republican, but they're not representing Democrats well, and they're not demonstrating black people well at all. These people are stuck in a time loop somewhere. I don't know what the hell is going on in Capitol Hill. I have no idea. This is just straight foolery to me.
By its adoption of House Resolution 189, the House has resolved that Representative Al Green be censured, that Representative Al Green forthwith present himself in the well of the House of Representatives for the pronouncement of censure, and that Representative Al Green be censured with public reading of this resolution by the Speaker. The House has come to order. The House has come to order. The House has come to order. Clear the well, please. Clear the well. The House has to continue its business.
It seems though every time black folks,
Pursuant to Clause 12A of Rule 1, the House will stand in.
it seems though every time black folk get one step ahead, we got some bootlicking Democratic shield, old school, slavery stepping, church praying Negroes up there singing Negro spirituals. Oh my God. I'm getting tired of these old black Democrats. What are they standing for? What are they singing for? Totally out of order. This is the highest court of the land. I mean, they're singing Negro spirituals like they just was released from slavery. Family, let me tell you something. Black empowerment has nothing to do with these Negroes are doing, these Democratic shields. This is the symbolism. Who are you trying to win over? Your constituents are done. Majority of black people didn't even vote, and then a lot of them shifted over to the Republican Party because of the nonsense of the Democratic Party. And they still out there. He's holding up his cane. Then he had to have a name like Al Green. Al Green, you know who I'm referring to. Rest your soul, brother. Let your music forever sing in our hearts and not hear this Al Green mess that we hear right here in Congress. This is stupidity at the highest level. And here's the thing about it. Unfortunately, we're going to have other demographics of people to view all black people like that in America, unfortunately. Now, I know I have a lot of, friends who are non-black, who are very intelligent. They won't. They know we're very different, just like they're very different. But man, you're going to have some people who believe we just, deep in my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome one. I'm all off melody. I don't know. This is ridiculous.
Reading of this resolution, Speaker. The House had come to order. The House had come to order.
It just made me feel like they was about to bring out some chains, and they were just so sorry and sorrow. I mean, we got to do better. I mean, they should have at least did. They should at least did Kendrick Lamar's song or something. I don't know, but nonetheless, I digress. I do apologize. I got off a tangent right there, but a rare bipartisan agreement emerged as 10 Democrats joined Republicans to censure Representative Al Green. That's correct. And I'm glad they did. If you guys don't know who Al Green is, this guy right here who looks black and Native American with silky black hair and with a cane pointed out. He was up here singing Negro spirituals. And the censure comes in response to his disruption of President Trump's joint session speech, an action that led to his removal from the House chambers, as he should have been removed. You're protesting in these public proceedings that you have power and position and influence. All these Congress people in that very same office or room, whatever they are, can voice their arguments. There's times for that, and he knows that. No, he's a Democratic shield. He don't speak for all of us. I just want to let everybody know that. But nonetheless, Governor Gavin Newsom has taken a stance that diverges from some progressive viewpoints by he's opposing the participation of transgender athletes in women's sports. And this position really highlights the ongoing national debate surrounding gender identity and athletic composition, reflecting the complex balance between inclusivity and fairness in sports. Wow. I think a lot of people would have thought that Gavin Newsom would have been for transgender athletes in women's sports. I've been thinking long and hard about what I'm about to say. I believe the Democrats understand the trajectory and their perspective and ideology that they're currently running is failing and has already failed by the way of Kamala Harris, but they're somehow lingering on to this same strategy. I think a lot of Democrats, even like Gavin Newsom, who've been very, very, people will state liberal, they've been very liberal, but the only way they're going to win the presidency from J.D. Vance, because that's who's going to really run, and Donald Trump is going to support him, and the American people are like, okay, he's a spitting image of Donald Trump. He may be a little bit different. He's a little more polished. Okay, he's a little more polished, but he's going to have some of that same ideologies, and he's going to get on stage. Vice President J.D. Vance is going to get on stage and say, I'm going to continue a lot of the Trump legislation and executive orders that he's passed when he was in office. That is what's going to occur. And you're going to have people who are very liberal, like a Gavin Newsom. They're going to start falling center left and not just far left. When we're talking about the Democratic Party, they're going to be more independent, and they're going to have some sort of like this male conservatism, just a little flake of it, just so they seem more, should I say it, heterosexual, so they can have a stronger stance. Because that is the only way they're going to believe that they're going to win over a lot of the voters, especially the black voting base that they lost, because they wasn't offering us anything, no support, no nothing. They just kept doing symbolism. They was doing Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion concert, and black people woke up, thank God. Unfortunately, a lot of our black sisters still went out and voted. And I think they didn't even care about the legislation. In my opinion, a lot of our beautiful black sisters did not care of any of the policies that Kamala Harris was going to sign or the policies she wasn't going to sign. They just wanted to see somebody who they believe were black, or maybe is, I don't know, in the office. They want to see a woman in office. They want to see a dark colored woman in office. They wanted to see a woman they believe who is black in office, and she may be. I do not know. Who cares? But they wanted to see somebody that resembled them in office. I don't think they really cared about legislation and policies. Where other people, other black people, like, but they're doing all these rights and programs for these groups, illegal immigrants and the LGBTQ. Okay, cool. But what are you doing for us? What are you doing for them? And they can never answer that question. They can never answer that question. So watch a lot of these Democrats, especially white male Democrats who are liberal, been very liberal. Watch them start to fall center and left. Watch them fall. Watch how they start to change their image. Watch how they start to change their look. I don't put it past them. I don't put it past them at all. Now, I don't know you guys familiar with this, but an associate of Elon Musk, referred to as the Doge Goon, has issued a chilling warning to the Federal Aviation Administration, that's the FAA. And he gave this warning to their staff. Now, some details of the warning remain undisclosed, but the development has raised concerns within the FAA, indicating potential challenges ahead in the regulatory landscape of aviation. Now, lately, I know you guys have been witnessing a lot of close calls, crashes, planes flipping over on a tarmac, engines going out. I mean, we have never had these many issues. And then Trump came out and said something, was it a couple of weeks ago? Between the helicopter crash and I believe it was an American Airlines flight, that DEI initiative put pilots in place. I'm paraphrasing, put pilots in place. And that it was a DEI pilot that was flying a plane. Now, flying a helicopter. Now, the person that was flying the helicopter, I believe it was a Black Hawk, I believe. I think it was a Black Hawk, not a Chinook. Or maybe it was a Chinook 47. I do not recall it was a Black Hawk or a Chinook. Nonetheless, was a white female pilot. And it really had me started thinking about DEI. Because when he uses it, I'm really trying to feel, I know, shouldn't be emotional, but I'm really trying to feel if there's some undertone that he's referring to black folk. And I don't get it from him. But when Elon Musk says it, DEI, I feel it. And I don't dislike him and I don't like him. I'm just giving you what I think. It's like the way he comes off sometimes. I admire a lot of his technological advances, but I don't have a stance. I don't know him to dislike him or like him. I just see what he does. But when he says it, and there's a couple others, but that was just very interesting to me. But this guy that goes by the Doge Goon basically threatened the FAA. It's very interesting things that's going on in the news today. Very, very interesting things. Now, the Department of Justice had released a memo that bears significant implication for employers of H-1B visa holders and other immigrants. Now, the memo outlines stricter enforcement of existing regulations, potentially affecting hiring practices and the employment landscape for skilled foreign workers in the United States. I wonder if Elon Musk supports this, because he stated, as long as with Donald Trump, that they have hired a lot. And some people believe that majority of Elon Musk's workforce is H-1B visas. I wonder if they're going to have some exemption for certain organizations, SpaceX, Tesla, the Boring Company. I'm just naming a company. I'm just naming a couple. That's all. And how this is going to affect those people who fall under H-1B visas that are working for their companies. I have a lot of questions. Now, I do have some good news for you guys. So if you guys just tuning in, if you're here right now, please stay. I won't be long. I have some terrific news for you guys. It's going to blow your socks off right after this, though. Right after this. Now, France endorses Arab post-war plan, says Hamas must be entirely excluded from running Gaza. I'm pretty sure they're not going to allow a terrorist group to run Gaza, but I digress. I'm off of it. Let's get to the good news. Here's the good news, family. Now, this is prohibition on creditors and consumer reporting agencies concerning medical information. If you guys have any medical bills, if you have any medical debts, this information is for you. If you have any medical bills, any medical debt, I want you guys to listen in. Please allow me to read this. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is issuing a final rule amending Regulation 5, which implements the Fair Credit Reporting Act concerning medical information. It prohibits creditors from considering medical information and credit eligibility determinations. And the CFPB is removing a regulatory exception that had permitted creditors to obtain and use information on medical debts, notwithstanding this statutory limitation. And you guys, okay, what does that mean for me? This is what I was referring to in plain English. So on March 17th this month, the new rule from the CFPB will remove all medical debt. Again, it will remove all medical debt from consumer credit reports. This is phenomenal. That means that a lot of you guys' credit scores are going to skyrocket. I know people who have $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 worth of medical debt on their credit. And now, March 17th, all of that will be no longer on your credit report. I don't want to say wiped away. You still have to pay it, but it will not be on your credit report. This is phenomenal. This is absolutely phenomenal. This is going to get a lot of people opportunities to buy homes, opportunity to buy cars, an opportunity like they never had before. And I want you guys to think about this. There's a couple other things that you guys should be aware of too. Small fry debts, they're going to be gone because, again, this new rule that minor dings, specifically debts under 200, won't be reported. Listen to me again. If you have a non-medical debt or medical debt, that's under $200, it won't be reported to the credit agencies. And this is going to eliminate those pesky bills that you guys have or forgotten subscriptions from unfairly dragging down your score. Some of you guys' score is down because someone put your $30 subscription in, I forgot the terminology, family. Please excuse me. They're going to put it's going to be 30 days, 60 days later, or so to speak. And this change is a game changer for keeping your credit report cleaner and your score higher. And you don't really have to sweat the small stuff anymore, in my opinion. But it is a double-edged sword because what they have done, the time frame for resolving disputes about inaccuracies on your credit report is being extended. Instead of the old 30 days that credit agencies have, they now have 45 days to investigate and resolve disputes. More time could mean a more thorough review, which is great for clearing up complex issues. But this is astronomical for a lot of people. Any debts you have under $200, and then all your medical debt is going to be removed from your credit report. So a lot of you guys' credit scores are going to rise exponentially. I'm happy. This is something that Donald Trump has in place. You guys can now go out and buy houses. A lot of the American people can now go out and buy cars they could never buy before because they had this staggering debt. Now, granted, some people are like, well, they still have to pay the debt, so they shouldn't go out and buy this and buy that. But again, why do you think he's doing it? Why do you think he's doing it? Because this will generate revenue for the country. There are going to be a larger group of people out there buying homes. So right now, I wonder if we're in a surplus because of inflation. Do we have more houses, less people, or more people, less houses? I don't know where the market is right now. I should ask my wife. She's a realtor as well, but I'm not. So I probably need to understand how the market is right now. I'm not too familiar with the market. But nonetheless, I thank you guys for joining me as long as you have. Again, I had to tell you guys that, again, any medical debt that you have on your credit report will no longer be on your credit report. So that is going to significantly raise your credit score. So good thing with that. Ravo said, now I just need the down payment. I understand. You guys have a great and wonderful evening, and I'll see you guys in the morning. This is Black Log.